Any promises?
It's just this is a nice header, and we'll see a nicer header.
There you go.
Hi, I'm Tony Fastdaughter. I'm Tony Fastdaughter. I'm Tony Fastdaughter. My family's been blessed to farm in Montana for over 100 years now, and it wouldn't be possible without the great team we have and blessings from our Savior Jesus Christ.
Morning. Just like talking to a windmill that doesn't talk back anymore. That's awkward. Well, since we're not gonna have to cut that 800 and whatever it is, 880 acres of Dad's peas, I'm gonna drive around and go check out a few things, other fields, and see what might be ready or what might not need to be cut this year. So far, we already got 1,100 acres taken care of. 10th of the way there, guys. Almost. Hemp update. It's thirsty too, but doing surprisingly better than I expected. In the ditch where it's always better crop. Did you ever wonder what a flax field looks like? Probably not quite as bright blue on camera for you guys, but flax is kind of cool. It sets new flowers every morning. Well, there's definitely a green tint to the field here yet, so I don't know. Not sure when this is going to be ready. We got a reunion to go to this weekend, so maybe Dad and Collin can move combines over here and try cutting a little bit of it. We'll see. Go look at the next field. These peas are sure a lot better looking than the ones we were cutting over west. See how small they are. Yeah, they're quite a bit bigger. Make good seed for next year at least. Yeah, these are gonna make a lot more bushels. If I was to guess, 15 bushels compared to 4 and 0. These don't look too bad. There's a few little green spots over there where they're green on top yet, but these will go pretty quick. Last field of peas here, and they're still blooming in the low spots on this field, so the rest of the field looks pretty right, but not this corner. Sure hope crop insurance tells me I don't have to combine this. I mean, honestly, there's nothing to combine. I hope I can get it adjusted here quick and let the neighbor graze it for what's here, because it's just not pretty. But on a positive note, it looks like the Clefaidim and Liberty did a great job on killing weeds. Grasshopper, yeah. Well, we've been cutting for a few hours here, down to about 50 acres left on this field, and I gotta do a little training because I gotta take off for something that was planned before we realized harvest was gonna be 2 weeks early. So, yeah, drive my combine for a couple days.
Yay!
You a little nervous?
Just a little.
Well, you should be.
It's a big piece of equipment.
He's really doing it.
Really doing it, Harry.
One full round under his belt, starting the second one. And no rocks have been picked up yet.
Now you jinxed me.
That's what rock traps are for. Got it all figured out?
I think so.
basically like playing a video game with lots of extra buttons.
I don't have all these buttons in Farm Central.
You should probably make those mods so you can practice. Good times.
Yes.
Good times. He's passing you.
I know. I'm a rookie though. He's the senior driver.
Yeah, I wonder how many years he's driven a combine for.
That's a good question.
It's got to be north of almost 40 years. Since he's at least driven a combine. Not all year, but... Collin.
Yeah.
We didn't buy a big enough grain cart.
No, we did not.
78,000 pounds.
Yeah, there's a little hole right
We
there.
can put a little more in there, but I don't think it's all going to fit.
Where's the semi when you need it?
We'll go around to the other side and see if there's more room over there.
I'm sure glad you're doing this, not me.
A little more right here. Right there. Just gonna bend the auger tube out.
To 100. Well, another field done. Well, the grain cart's a little full to driving down the highway, and we're a little ways from the bin, so we brought the reinforcement. Truck 1, truck 2.
Well, we're loaded. Took a little while to get the grain cart app all working right, but heading to the cleaner with these peas right away. We're gonna get them cleaned for seed for next year and take all the grasshoppers out and pea pods, so they'll store a little better, and then we'll be all ready to a couple thousand bushels of clean peas for the field next spring. Good night, windmill. Well, Collin just took off the second load to the cleaner. We just brought the conveyor home. We're gonna get that put back on the main frame here, whatever, the main conveyor. We can unload the peas into a seed bin for next year.
Moving to the next field.
Well, we're on the road again. We are moving from the west side of the farm all the way over to the east side of the farm. And if you guys haven't been following along in the past and are curious about the farm, why we're moving so far, about 30 miles east and west spread out, and north and south we're about 20 to 25 miles north and south. That means a lot of road time for us. So we pull our headers on suspension trailers, not the factory transports, just because our roads are so rough. Like that washboardy spot right there just went over, and our headers just took a beating in the past, so we bought trailers for that. That being said, in the future, we're gonna get our farms grouped up, so under one ownership rather than 3 separate ones like we are right now. Dad has some ground, I have some ground. There's a corporation farm that Grandpa operated under, and now Dad and I run that one. So eventually it's all gonna be in one down the road, and then we could have one section of the farm could be peas, another section would be canola, another section would be durum, another section would be spring wheat or winter wheat or whatever, and then we wouldn't have to move everywhere. But until that happens, we got road time like this. Mom is helping move. She's got in the fire truck moving that 550 Ford over to the next field, and Amy's got pulling a header because Dad's Company doesn't have a hitch on the back of it, just mine. Mom and Amy are gonna run back and grab the service truck after they get that stuff moved over, and then we'll cut for a while, and then we'll grab trucks. So here we go. Like 30-mile drive in front of us. This hill is a lot bigger than it looks on camera, so if I'm pulling my header, I'm gonna have to stop up here in this little plateau in the hill and go into 3rd gear because we're losing momentum. Come to a complete stop, shift it into 3rd gear. Here we go. Hopefully we don't spin out. This is when we could use tracks or rear wheel assist. Otherwise, not a concern. Oh, quit bouncing, combine. That's how you lose traction. All right, here we go. It's clear if you want to go clear left.
Heads up, a semi just crossed the bridge behind us.
Okay. There we go, back in road gear. It's quite different over here. Actually rained here a few times. A lot more, probably close to 5 inches, and where we just moved from maybe 1 inch since crop was planted, so heat has definitely tipped stuff back, but there's more potential over here for sure. Thank goodness the farm's spread out. And look, we do have a few trees in Montana. Those are wild trees, those aren't planted ones. Most of the trees around here are planted, that's for sure. Can you sneak through there? Can you sneak through there?
Going down the big hill. Can't see Tony quite yet. Now you can.
Man, these are a little bit different than what we were cutting yesterday. I think these are going to run close to 20 bushel, 15, 20, somewhere in there. We do have a few little green sloughs and stuff yet, so we're going to cut some of this today, probably fill up a couple trucks and grain carts and not push it too hard. Cut what's ripe right now and then let that dry a little bit.
I even get to dump on the go this time because that's how much better it is versus just sitting there with the tractor off waiting until they need to be dumped. So it's a little bit more fun than the other day.
Well, we got Honeybee here.
Hey,
What do you think of my MacDon header?
it's a nice header. Works well.
See that? That's the Mike Mitchell special over there.
That's right.
That's a 50-foot Honeybee, so we're gonna go get things figured out on that, set it up, see how it works on cutting peas. Any promises?
It's just, this is a nice header, and we'll see a nicer header.
There you go. Quinn is our territory sales manager, sales rep, kind of covers a big area.
Yeah.
Down here in the States. These are built in Canada, which most of our farm equipment in Montana is, but some of the things I noticed right away is drive lines on both sides that we didn't have.
That's right.
And no big oil reservoir.
No big oil reservoir, so you have a lot lighter table. It's a lighter table in general.
Even though 50 foot is lighter than a 45? Probably comparable.
Yeah, very comparable,
Yep.
I'd say. So you have, biggest differences that people notice right off is when they look right there. You have a center knife drive. We have a wider mouth here too, so it's 80 inches. So you can feed a lot more crop because you have a 50-foot table. It's wider on a 45 and on a 40 as well. But so you have center knife drive that goes right here, and it just has 2 pitman arms that are running a bell crank up front. And so you have two knives going out.
Okay.
And I can show you that. And then on the back here we have the air people get confused with is
it's not an air reel.
It's not an air reel, right?
It controls the sickle rigidity.
Right,
Is that the correct term?
Yeah, that's right, but yeah, that's right.
Didn't make that one up, did I?
No, you're spot on. The cutter bar is actually floating and the air is reacting to the sensors in the back.
And that's what makes it
Right.
rigid. So if you want to cut weed, we can make it rigid from the cab.
Right, and then we can even change the sensor, so we can change the sensors to go from the cutter bar to the ends.
Okay.
So it's reacting in that manner.
And then I'll run the header height automatically and everything too.
Right.
Okay.
And actually, that's what this subframe on the Airflex versus the Airflex XTX.
Okay.
STX, I think soybeans.
Sure.
So that is actually helping the header as well, because the air is helping the tilt control.
Okay.
So it's making it float better. So you have your belt drive, so you can work on it. That's a big thing. This is typically, if you have anything, it's going to be here or here.
Blow belt or something.
Yeah.
So this actually runs its own air compressor, so it's nothing on the combine.
Right. So the air compressor is right over here. It's tucked behind here, so you can actually lock on here. Like you're going into transport, we like to blow it up. These airbags, if you think about it, the more air you put into it, the stiffer it makes. If this is on a rigid, you can actually fill this up from here.
Okay.
If you don't want to wait for the cap or wait
Sure.
for the combine. These gauge wheels are newer for this kind of a 22 model, so these are airbags on the gauge wheel, so we'll pump up. The frame is on the top versus a MacDon on the bottom, you know. So the frame is across the top, so it allows it to have a little bit more floatability.
Okay.
And so when the cutter bar is reacting, the air is, for lack of a better term, air is lighter than hydraulic pressure or springs, so it's lighter, so it reacts a little bit faster. This is kind of the fun part of the header. So the entire cutter bar is flexing, and it can flex up and down 9 inches. But since there's no air in it, you can see how it's going to react in the field.
So that would just basically get on the ground, just slide, and if it needs to go up, it goes up.
Exactly. And when you add air pressure to those back bags, it's going to just stiffen it up.
And that's the position it would be in wheat, is all the way up.
Right. And you can do that from the cab, and you can adjust based off your crop conditions, or if it gets really wet, kind of try to say the more air you put in, the lighter the table it becomes.
Sure.
So you can go across wet conditions. And then you have these guards. I know it's kind of silly, but see how they're kind of shaped like a boat hull?
Yep.
So the intention is for this to run flat, so it can float. And you're getting, you can see that's about a ½ inch cut height.
Yeah.
So the tendency is to want to tilt.
But so it should cut half the height, basically, we are with the MacDon.
I'm not going to say that, but.
Okay.
And then here we have the Eagle Beak out in front. What's different from older models is these used to overlap.
Okay.
So now they don't, so they come together to, I think it's 5/16 of an inch, but they don't touch. And so these two sections are the only two sections that are different.
Otherwise, all the parts are the same.
Yeah, and you can change these without removing all this.
Okay.
And so it's kind of nice that you don't have to worry about that. You also have 6 bats on the reel, and it's a cam reel, and then every other we have 2.5 inch spacing and 5 inch spacing. Found that helps it feed, and you can always kind of tell from a road or something if it's a honeybee, because you see how they're offset, these two, so that helps feed it better too, so you don't get as much bunching.
And this rock trap thing's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So we have a beard on here for certain crops. You can take that off or not, and then the rock trap just opens up and then you can dump rocks. So kind of like to see it as a third level of defense. So since you're running flat right here, you should have sensitivity to pop off. And
if they're running light, if they find a rock, it's going to hopefully go up, as long as the land roller half puts you in the ground.
Right. That's
look at this. Look at this poor guy.
Oh no.
He deserves that.
That's the only one out here, right?
They're causing us. Yeah. Just walk a 3 steps and you'll find about 1 million more.
I think that's pretty much it.
Let's go cut.
Yeah, let's go cutting.
Just like that.
This is the part when they steal my combine and never see it again. To think that's only half as wide as that new air drill.
Only half. Will she be able to get in the grain cart with 50 foot? Oh yeah. Just gotta get a little closer. Can't tip the spout all the way. But that's pretty close. Oh, he could get a little bit closer.
Well, we're doing it. Going 5 miles an hour. Feet's pretty good considering it's 5 feet wider. Got a little control that goes with it for adjusting the air pressure from the cab. Different things there and there. I think that's left sensor, that's right sensor for adjusting the head height.
That's correct. And voltage over there, and then controlling it from rigid to flex there. So adjusting your air pressure.
So I passed the test so far?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I guess we're going 5 miles an hour. We're getting something.
Aced it. Like your dad said, it's only 2.5 feet on each side, so it's not.
Yeah. But it seems like 10 feet on each side.
It does.
Look at the grasshoppers. You're taking all those home with you.
Make a fortune in Japan.
Yeah. All right, let's see if we got any rocks in here. Which way? Up?
Yep.
Or down? Both good. Hiya.
Don't see any rocks.
I don't hear anything. Some little itty bitty ones. That brings up test weighted peas though.
Well, I cut a grasshopper in half.
That's what we're going for.
Put that on the commercial.
Yeah. No insecticide needed. We will shred your hoppers. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, like and subscribe if you haven't already. Farm hard, pray harder. See you next video.